Hey guys, it's me, and this time we're uncovering the missing monument. The stones at Stonehenge are some of the most famous in the world, but they aren't actually all that tall. The tallest standing stones at Stonehenge are only around 24 feet high, about the height of a two-story building. But Stonehenge was once home to a structure that towered over the landscape like a skyscraper, a massive wooden tower almost as tall as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Archaeologists discovered this during excavations between 1964 and 1979. They found post holes from a massive wooden structure. It would have been about 82 feet tall when completed. The researchers believe it may have been used for religious purposes since it was built right in the middle of Stonehenge and the River Avon. There isn't much left of it today, though. Only a few pieces of wood were found, which have since turned to dust. Number 9. Buried Secrets. In 2019, a team of archaeologists began digging in the area immediately outside Stonehenge. They wanted to learn more about how people lived during the time the monoliths were being erected. So far, they have found a human skull, animal bones, thousands of pottery fragments, and evidence of wooden structures. But perhaps even more interesting is what they haven't found. So far, no evidence has been found of any kind of settlement near Stonehenge. This has led researchers to wonder where people lived while constructing this incredible monument. Where did these ancient people go afterward? And why did they abandon it? Did they take their civilization with them or leave it behind when they fled? These are questions scientists hope to answer as the dig continues. No 8 more than a graveyard. When you visit Stonehenge today, it's easy to get caught up in its beauty. The towering stones, the rolling hills, the lush green grass make it a picturesque place to explore. But don't be fooled by its tranquil appearance. Archaeologists have discovered evidence that Stonehenge wasn't just a place of worship and burial. It was also an active community space where people lived, worked, and played. Archaeologists have found evidence of homes, workshops, and even latrines near the stone circle. What kind of rituals took place here? Was Stonehenge used for anything other than religion? As more research is conducted, we may find out. Number 7. The Sun Worshippers. For centuries, Stonehenge has been shrouded in mystery, its purpose still unknown. However, recent discoveries have shed new light on this ancient monument. It turns out that Stonehenge was used by prehistoric people to predict the solstices. In fact, the monument itself is aligned with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice. This suggests that Stonehenge was used as a kind of primitive calendar. The ancient people who built Stonehenge may have been sun worshippers, and the site may have been used for religious ceremonies related to the cycle of the seasons. There is also evidence that Stonehenge was used as a burial ground. Many of the bodies found at the site are believed to have been cremated, and some have been found buried beneath the stones themselves. Number 6. Built by Romans. If you're like me, you probably learned in school that Stonehenge was built by Druids, but new research suggests that this may not be true. In fact, there is evidence that Stonehenge was built by the Romans. In the 1st century AD, the Romans invaded Britain and began building roads, settlements, and other infrastructure. They were also known to have built several stone monuments, including Stonehenge. Recent excavations have uncovered Roman artifacts near the monument, including coins, jewelry, and pottery. Additionally, the style of the stones themselves is similar to other Roman stone structures. Of course, this doesn't mean that Druids had nothing to do with Stonehenge. They certainly used the monument for religious purposes. But it looks like the Romans were responsible for its construction. Number 5. An ancient highway. A newly discovered road may shed new light on how Stonehenge was built. The road, which dates back to the Neolithic period, was found using a combination of aerial photography, field walking, and metal detecting. It runs from the nearby village of Durrington Walls to the northeast corner of Stonehenge. The road is about 3 miles long and is thought to have been used by the builders of Stonehenge. They probably used it to transport the massive stones that make up the monument. Stonehenge is made up of 2 main structures, a ring of standing stones and a horseshoe-shaped group of larger stones. The smaller stones weigh about 4 tons each, while the larger stones can weigh up to 50 tons. Researchers believe that the builders of Stonehenge used a combination of manpower and simple machines to move the stones. They then erected the stones using a technique known as rocking and rolling. This involved placing the stones upright and then using ropes and levers to rock them back and forth until they were in position. The road would have been an essential part of this process, allowing the builders to move the stones without damaging the surrounding landscape. Number 4. Animal sacrifice. Archaeologists have discovered evidence of animal sacrifice at Stonehenge. The remains of at least 250 animals were found near the monument, including cattle, pigs, sheep, and goats. The animals had been killed in a ritualistic manner, and their bones showed signs of burning. The sacrifices were probably intended to appease the gods and ensure the success of the next year's harvest. The practice of animal sacrifice was common in many ancient cultures, including the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans. It was usually reserved for major religious holidays or special occasions. At Stonehenge, however, it appears that animal sacrifice was a regular occurrence. The majority of the animal bones date from between 3100 and 2900 BC, which was the period when Stonehenge was first being constructed. This suggests that the builders of Stonehenge viewed the monument as a sacred site. They may have believed that the site had special powers or that it was home to supernatural beings. Number 3. Burial mounds. Recent excavations at Stonehenge have revealed a number of burial mounds. The mounds are thought to date back to the late Neolithic period, around 4,500 years ago. They were probably used for the burial of important members of society, such as chiefs or elders. The discovery of the burial mounds sheds new light on the social structure of the people who built Stonehenge. It suggests that the society was hierarchical and that there were significant differences in wealth and power. The elite members of society were buried in elaborate tombs, while the commoners were not. Archaeologists are currently excavating the burial mounds to learn more about the people who were buried there. They hope to learn about their lifestyle, their diet, and their beliefs. Number 2. The Bluestone Quarry. A team of archaeologists recently discovered the quarry where the bluestones used to build Stonehenge were mined. The quarry is located in the Preseli Hills in Wales, about 150 miles from Stonehenge. The bluestones are a type of igneous rock that is found only in this area of Wales. The discovery of the quarry helps to solve a long-standing mystery about how the builders of Stonehenge transported the bluestones to the site. The stones are small, but they are very heavy, weighing up to 4 tons each. It's thought that the builders of Stonehenge transported the stones by boat, but there is no evidence that the ancient Britons had any kind of boat technology. The discovery of the quarry suggests that the builders of Stonehenge simply carried the stones on foot. This would have been a long and arduous journey, but it would have been possible if the builders had enough manpower. Number 1. Modern Stonehenge. Many people believe that Stonehenge is one of the oldest man-made structures in the world. But did you know that it was rebuilt several times throughout history? The original Stonehenge was built around 3100 BC, and it was made of a single circle of standing stones. Around 2500 BC, the monument was expanded to include a second circle of smaller stones. The modern Stonehenge, however, was built in the 18th century. It was designed by the architect John Wood, and it consists of the 2 circles of stones that we see today. So if you visit Stonehenge, keep in mind that the monument you're seeing is not the same as the one that stood here 5,000 years ago. The original Stonehenge looked very different, and it would be unrecognizable to modern eyes. Thanks for watching. Which fact about Stonehenge surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos about amazing archaeological discoveries. See you next time. Bye.